Welcome to this fantastic express introduction and today, Agile. The benefits of Agile is to bring the customer and the solution provider closer together so that the customer's needs can be met more precisely. In addition, it accelerates the delivery of the solution using an iterative approach. The Agile Project Methodology starts with the customer talking to the product owner and sharing their needs. The product owner will then convert those requirements into a list of deliverables. This is known as the backlog. At the start of every cycle, known as a sprint, usually 3 or 4 weeks long, a selection of prioritized deliverables will be taken from the backlog and a process of sprint planning will begin, which breaks those deliverables down into activities that will be implemented during that sprint cycle. This is known as the sprint backlog. Once the sprint planning is completed, then implementation will begin. And every day the team will meet to assess the progress against the activities and also address any issue that might be impeding the progress of implementation. At the end of the sprint cycle, the team will then be ready to ship the activities that have been implemented. Ideally, this should be in the form of a solution that can be used. For example, a block of code that could be tested if you're building software, a component of a product that the customer can assess, or even part of a service that the customers can start to use. Once the solution is ready, then there will be a meeting with the customer and the stakeholders to review the output of that particular sprint. And once that review is completed, then the sprint team will meet to make an after-action review to assess what can they do better in the next sprint. For example, better planning, better communication, better build of the solution. Once this is completed, the cycle starts again with the prioritization of the backlog, selecting the deliverables, processing into sprint planning, and so on. That is a simple introduction to Agile. Let's take a look at a simple example of how Agile can be used in practice. We begin with the backlog designed between the product owner and the customer of deliverables. Here we have contract approval management system, and for this sprint, Team 2 have been allocated the build of the approval workflow, and they've identified the activities required to complete the approval workflow. Here we have design process steps, create a document template, program the workflow, and test the workflow. And there will be an assessment of capacity needed to complete those activities. There are many ways of assessing capacity. Here I'm just using simple capacity points. The team know that they have 10 capacity points available to them during this sprint, and here they've allocated 2, 1, 5 and 1 capacity points, leaving them 1 capacity point spare just in case they have any issues. Then they begin work, and they will start every day to have a daily meeting, daily scrum, daily huddle, where they will look at the progress of the activities, what activities are left to do, and are there any issues impeding the build process. Once the build is completed, they will bring their deliverables, a process map in this case, an approval template, a workflow that has been programmed into a system, and a test document to prove that the workflow now works. That will be delivered to the review meeting, where the customer will check the definition if the work is done and completed. Once that review has been conducted, the team will meet together and see what they can improve for the following sprint, how they can improve their planning, their delivery, their communication, etc. And once this is complete, we go back to the backlog and begin the process all over again. And that was an express introduction to Agile. Thank you very much for watching.